I know we're going to get a lot of hate comments because people hate Trump.
I would respectfully disagree.
I agree, I also disagree as well.
Seriously, Sheikh, I can't work with you.
No one knows who you are.
It applies to you as well.
Oh. I get called a scammer sometimes based on the way I look. But I'm just being an instigator right now. Prove to me that you're going to actually do that.
I would actually scope out the neighborhood and see where old people live. Knock on their door, not even knock, just cut it.
I was on 24/7, bro. 24/7. And the missus said, hey, Jamal, we don't see you. You're here, but you're not here.
His wife's expectation really was when you're at the dinner table, you cannot literally look at the phone. And I told him, that's possible, bro. Go become a school teacher. Go become a nurse.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that. For a second, I was like, don't say cocaine. No. I gave you a very PG answer.
I told you he had 4 cookies.
What is the fundamental thing that it takes from a person to go from being broke to 6 figures?
Just very quickly, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've got a crazy proposition. And that is that we are going to help get your business up to $50,000 to $100,000 a month within the next 60 days, inshallah ta'ala. We've done it for so many other business owners. For example, Brother Fawaz, who's one of our partners and our instructors, helped Sister Saima Iqbal go from 10,000 to 1.5 million. He helped Brother Asim go from 13,000 to $130,000 a month. Brother Jamal helped build e-com brands from scratch for himself and his students that exited, one of which at $5.2 million. Brother Tahmeen, who's our paid ad specialist, helped Brother Abdul Hamid get $100,000 in 14 days with a 76x return on his ad spend. We've got another supplements company, another supplements brand that is one of our clients that we helped to get a 17.5x return on their ad spend with the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal. We've helped Brother Fawaz himself, who's now one of our instructors and one of our partners. He was actually a brother that I was coaching, helped get him $100,000 on the back of just one call with myself, Brother Sam Amin. We helped him build his personal brand, Allah Barik, and recently he got a high-ticket $180,000 commitment from a lead that flew in from the USA to Dubai to invest in his business as well. So what I'm trying to say to you definitely absolutely works. If you want more information on what on earth this method and this formula is to help get your business up to $50,000 to $100,000 regularly every month, inshallah ta'ala, click the link below and just get the information about Righteous Skills Academy. I promise you won't regret it, but just remember, this is for people that are already business owners, that are either in the e-commerce space, info product space, i.e. coaches, consultants, or the agency space, service-based business space. It's only for those guys. And you have to be doing at least $5,000 a month in revenue yourself. And then our job is to show you how to pour gasoline over the fire. Click the link below, inshallah ta'ala, and let's get you started.
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, welcome back to Chai with my Bhai. As you can see, we've got a panel that's constantly chopping and changing, a little bit of optimization here and there. You guys are familiar with Brother Sam, the riba-free real estate mogul.
MashaAllah.
It's a new one. Change the word, man.
Don't worry, I'm using it for you. You're not saying it, I'm saying it. Allah, but I actually checked it online. You know, you got $100 million worth of investment, right?
Yeah.
Altogether, right?
Yes.
So you're a mogul, bro.
Seriously.
You're a mogul.
Is that the much, criteria?
Huh?
That sounds too much.
No, own it. Like if they're calling P. Diddy a media mogul and the guy's doing whatever nonsense he's doing, for you to own that type. Plus, you're mogul from like the Mughals.
Yeah, that sounds better. Mughal.
Okay,
real estate Mughal.
We're going to see you're the Mughal.
Real estate Mughal.
I like that. Allahumma barik. Let's take it back. And then we have here the econ beast residing in the Middle East, Mr. Jamal,
That reminds
me, aka Mr. Amazon FBA, Allahumma barik, aka Ethan Ellington. Was it Ethan or
Ethan Ellington?
Ethan Ellington.
I've got many names, alhamdulillah.
Allahumma barik. We might talk about that in one of the episodes,
in a bit.
And we have my brother here, Abu Bakr.
Assalamu alaikum.
Guy who loves supercars, fast cars. And then you have myself, Brother Imran. So today's episode, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to be introducing a new feature to Chai Bhai, which is that at the 20-minute mark, we're going to stop whatever conversation that we're having. It's going to be a quick fire round that Abu Bakr will take. And he will just ask questions. Pow. Right? Don't worry, not too crazy.
Okay.
But sometimes the most benign question can bring about a crazy answer depending on the chaos of your life. So be careful, Jamal. Be careful, Ethan. But yeah, so we're going to have that feature. And I'll let you run that timer, yeah?
Inshallah.
So, brothers, today's topic of discussion, inshallah ta'ala, is about building a business that's actually, you know, a business that's growing and scaling. And the reason why we've got you guys on the panel is because you've obviously built multiple businesses. Allahumma barik. You've built businesses that you've exited out of, right, multiple times. So you've been about, Allahumma barik, building businesses, exiting businesses, and starting again, doing the same thing multiple times. Shows that you obviously know what it takes to grow a business and scale it to a certain level. Likewise, Brother Sam, you've got a few different companies, all in the real estate, different verticals within real estate. 6-figure company, 7-figure company, 8-figure company, Allahumma barik. You're currently living off purely just your passive income, as you've mentioned.
Yep.
So I think it's very appropriate. And myself and Abu Bakr want to learn from you guys, right? Ask questions that can benefit. Of course, we're also on our business journey. We've grown our businesses to a certain level, so hopefully there's something for us to share as well. So the first question, Sam, to yourself, inshallah ta'ala. What is the fundamental thing that it takes from a person to go from being broke to 6 figures, and then from 6 to 7, 7 to 8? What's the fundamental shift that needs to take place in each of those stages?
I think 0 to 6 figures, the most important aspect is your reputation. Because reputation is the long-term wealth that stays with you regardless of which level. And we're just talking before the podcast started.
Okay.
For some people, it takes weeks, months, but undeniable reputation, it takes years and decades to build.
Okay.
For example, Shah, I'll give you a quick example, right? So if someone has bad reputation, they're starting from a deficit. So when a customer walks into their store, like metaphorical store, they have to first convince that customer, take that reputation from deficit to 0. Like, hey, I'm not a bad person. I'm not out here for blood. I'm not out here to lie, steal, cheat.
You're already on the back foot.
You're already on the back foot.
In fact, I would even say, in some situations, you're not at 0, you're on minus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're in deficit.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, you're in deficit.
Because people
sometimes.
suspect you
Exactly.
from the get-go.
People suspect you. And so many, because my business was growing the brokerage, growing the realtors. So many realtors, realtor A versus B, doing the same effort, but the A is succeeding so much exponentially more because he or she has a better reputation than realtor B. So when people are coming to realtor A, they're coming with the white canvas. It's at 0. It's not at deficit. With the other person, it's at deficit. Maybe they have seen some pictures online, they're associating with you. Maybe they have seen you hanging out with some of the guys in the neighborhood, in the block. They're like, okay, I don't know. Now him seeing my financials and selling me a house, I'm not quite sure. And to an extent, and if you're a young guy listening to it, to an extent, it might get so bad that you have to change the city. Sometimes you feel like, okay, it's not me, it's the company. You keep jumping companies, and it happens in agencies because sometimes people think, oh, this agency is not giving me the result, that agency, that. Sometimes maybe it has to just do with your reputation. I think Shaykh, it applies to you as well. Let's say you're helping a client grow their marketing, grow their branding. You're doing everything. It's not growing. Maybe they have done something. The people in their block, in the neighborhood, they know, like, oh, this guy's now online. So you're actually trying to go against the current because the current is against you. Your reputation is against you.
It's like Idris was saying on the last Righteous Rides when he's talking about taking on clients. He says, I'd never take on a client unless I I validate the business. And not only in terms of profitability and is this business actually going to work, but also, like you said, for example, if you have 51-star reviews, well, no matter what marketing I do for you, I can't help you because as soon as, like, I can get you loads of impressions, I can get loads of people to come to your page. But as soon as they see all those complaints, all those negative reviews, no one's touching you. No one's touching any of your products.
What about you, at 0 to 6 figures? Would you agree, or you think there's something else?
I
don't think anyone's in denial.
Yeah.
That reputation is essential, but is that the fundamental thing from 0 to 6?
I would respectfully disagree. I think that's important, but I think the number one skill or the number one thing you need going from 0 to 6 figures is scrappiness, pure hustle. I think that's what you need more than anything else, because if you're starting from the beginning, you don't need expert strategies or a fancy team or all these systems. No, you just need to put in those raw hours more than anything else, because it's hard. It's so hard taking someone from 0 to 1. That is the hardest part in building the business. And if you're trying to do things in a very careful and meticulous way, no, you have to burn the boats. You have to put in those ridiculous hours. You have to fall flat on your face multiple times, because it's like there's no momentum. going from 0 to 1. But once you kind of get from 0 to 6 figures and you get product market fit and you're able to actually generate some revenue, you can take a pause. You can breathe, you can start sleeping, 8-7 hours now. But and then you need a different level of skill set, different things you've got to start doing, because what takes you from 0 to 6 won't take you from 6 to 7, and certainly not from 7 to 8.
So what takes you from 6 to 7?
You need to have more products, more offers. So once you find out, hey, you know what? I'll give you the example of e-commerce, because obviously that's what I do. You can go from 0 to 6 figures with one product. With one product, that's calm. It's very, very easy actually, because if you really think about it, 6 figures is, let's choose a round number, $500,000 a year. Okay, $500,000 a year in revenue is about $42,000 a month in sales. Now, $42,000 a month in sales is just over. It's about $1,400 a day in sales. Okay, now and that's the way I always think about it. Things in terms of numbers. I think about what I want to achieve and then I reverse engineer. So $1,400 in sales, that is pretty reasonable. Like that's a $20 product that you're selling 52 units a day or something like that, or 60 units a day. And 60 units a day, that's like 2 units every hour or something, or 3 units every hour.
So just diversify the product suite.
Yeah.
And in essence, if you're making 1,200 of one product today and you've got 10 products in your product suite, you just 10 extra income.
And the great thing about e-commerce is that it's perfectly scalable. If you're selling one product and you're working, say, 4 hours a day on your business, you can be selling 2 products or 5 products and selling exponentially more units and still be working 4 hours a day. You don't have to work any harder to fulfill those orders because of all the systems around you. If you had a service-based business or you had a coaching business, for example, which I also do, we have a cap on the number of students that we can enroll, because with every student that we enroll, we have to fulfill that student and give them our time, and that's not infinitely scalable. So, but with e-commerce, it's really easy. You can go from 0 to 6 figures with one product, from 6 figures to 7 figures with 2 or 3 products, and then but then to go from 7 to 8 figures, you can't just keep on adding more products. You have to find new ways of extracting more value.
All right, we're gonna come to the 7 to 8.
Go on. I was gonna say, I understand your perspective.
Breaking news just in. Muslim entrepreneurs from all over the world are flying in to join this gang. The suspects are driving Lamborghinis and Ferraris, plotting their next $100 million business ventures. They're racing, praying, and networking their way to success, with celebrities and investors joining the ride. They're armed with iman and ambition, but the most shocking twist: every move is 100% halal. If this isn't stopped, their influence will only grow. Do not click the link below if you see ads for this retreat. They only allow 7- and 8-figure earners, and if you fill in the form at the link below, you might get access.
What's discussed in the McLaren stays in the McLaren.
I agree, I also disagree as well.
Okay.
I believe because look, what you said undeniably is true. You need to have scrappiness, you need to have that hustler mindset. But that alone, I think will get you from 0 to 0.5. What he said, because that has to be there. Like, you can't be too polished around the edges. But what I understood from, in terms of reputation, not necessarily like be polite and be nice. What I understood is go in with the fulfillment. Make sure the product or the service or whatever it is that you're promising them, that dream outcome, because it's easy to promise people.
Yeah.
It's easy to sell. But let's just say you sell to 100 people, each one, you charge them, 1,000, whatever. You made 100,000. You reach your first 6 figures. But if they're all unhappy, you won't be able to go to, because he said, how do you build a great business, 8-figure business? Being scrappy, you can easily get to 6 figures, easily.
Yeah.
But you won't be able to get beyond that because that reputation won't be there.
Not even just a question. By the way, I'm in agreement with the scrappiness thing, but I'm just being the instigator right now. Look, can you get to 6 figures if all your reviews are ones?
Of course not.
So I think that's the point he's making.
Yeah, yeah.
But then the question is, which is great? Like, should you be scrappy at the expense of?
So you can have the hustler mindset of just working hard, but if your reviews are ones and twos,
but
you just won't get 6.
I think what we're talking about is someone going from 0 to 6 figures. Now, if they're at 0, they don't have a product, they don't have any reviews or any 1-star ratings. For someone who's watching this podcast who wants to start a business, they are a nobody for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
No one knows who they are. So if they are launching a service or a product, they can't rely on their reputation. That's a long-term thing. And exactly as we were talking about, it takes years to build, and that will pay massive dividends when you're, scaling to multiple 7 figures, because that is something that will bear so much fruit. But in the beginning, no one knows who you are, and all you have to do is you have to find a way to crack open the door.
But don't you think, okay, look, so fundamentally, this is my take on marketing, right?
Yeah.
From one fellow marketer to another. I fundamentally think marketing comes down to 2 things: value and trust. That's it. Everything else is just trying to communicate value and trust in a different way. And value is the easier part of the equation, which is making a massive promise about, I'm going to give you X that's going to help you achieve this crazy outcome and solve this pain. But the difficult part is, but I don't trust you. Prove to me that you're going to actually do that. When I give you my money, it's actually going to happen. Which is why, like even in e-com, you got all these reviews and this, that, and so on and so forth.
Partners that you work with.
Right, you know what I'm
companies
saying?
that have
Social
sponsored
proof
you.
testimonials. Even though I understand the concept of having that proper, serious, certified reputation that rings bells is going to take years. But on some level, it's like, I feel like it's got to be proportionate. The reputation is something that you've... And I feel like you did it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got to where you were.
Yeah, and it takes time to build, because even now with my ads, and I'm sure you've seen my ads and stuff, people see my ads and I get called a scammer sometimes, because there are some people that don't trust me based on the way I look. But by the same token, there are people...
What do you mean, what the way you look?
No, exactly. No, honestly, because...
mad.
No,
You
but...
know what you used to get an AI, Ethan Ellington.
Well, in fact, that's a very interesting point, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But by the same token, there are people that see me, I think, oh my God, I trust this guy, because there's something about him, the way he looks, the way he speaks, and trust takes a long time to build. And one thing,
I just trust Somalis.
I love that.
When I see a Somali, I'm like, there's no way
But
this guy can be
in
lying
fact-
to me.
but-
Because this tribe would come for him if it was a joke.
But the thing is, I've come to peace with that, because I used to want to target everyone. I think, you know what? Why don't they trust me? Like, I'm legit. Like, I actually help my students. I actually fulfill what I'm trying to do. But then what I've come to, I realize is, hey, you know what? Those aren't your customers. Those aren't your ideal clients.
Yes.
The ideal clients are the ones who don't need to be convinced. Are the ones who see you. I think, you know what? This is someone I think I'd like to work with.
Think
So
about
that comes down to
what
reputation.
What was the question I asked you earlier today? Because we just to give you guys context, we're obviously looking for a B2C partner, right? Someone that we get a lot of leads, people that aren't business owners. We can't do anything for them. So we're looking for a B2C partner. And I was like, right, that's what you do, right? You take people that want to break into e-com. So what's the first question I asked you?
What's your student success rate?
Right? Why?
Right.
Why did I ask that?
Of course.
Reputation.
Reputation. You know what I'm saying? Because when I now come to people and I say, yo, guys, but you have to give me a affiliate link for this. If you want to break into e-com and you've got at least $10,000 as an investment to start off with, qualification. Or should I mention this at the top of the funnel? Or is
Dude,
okay.
well, in fact, that's what
You
I
like
try
to-
and do now, because just to kind of, I cut in. When you're launching a new business or a new offer, you want to remove as much friction as possible. You want to basically just open the funnel as wide as possible and
have as many
get
people.
all the leads in. But once you start serving these clients and you realize, hold on, this type of student or client was a good fit. This one caused me a pure headache. And you realize, hold on, okay, now I know exactly who my ideal client is. You can start to add purposeful
Disqualifiers.
friction and disqualifiers.
Which is why for the righteous rides, our thing is, bro, 7 figures. If you're not 7 figures.
Yeah.
Right now, we're so ruthless with disqualification. Sheikh, I've created like 6 different funnel journeys. For a guy who comes in, there's only 1 out of the 6 that will qualify. And even those...
Like some of them, I look at it and I think, bro, would I even qualify?
No, but you have to.
call
No,
me as the
but you have
founder
to
of
raise the
X, right?
bar.
I'm looking at it like, bruv, like,
No, honestly,
If you're
honestly.
not raising the bar,
And
then
all the other 5 will send them in different directions. You,
No, no.
you don't have the money. Go ahead.
Dude.
You seem a bit funny.
That's
Go
what
ahead.
you're doing, Sheikh, with my form. Also, you're creating.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
Dude,
Alhamdulillah.
I've got the exact same thing. In order to join our program, they have to jump on a call. But before they jump on a call, they've got to first watch a video. No, yeah, watch a video, and after they watch a video, they see the button pop up. So that's the first level of.
So they would have
friction.
watched this long video.
Yeah,
And
and then after that, there's a survey, and that survey has these conditional flows where if they answer incorrectly, then they get sent to.
Allah, man,
to
that's
the
what
page.
we're on now.
And then and if they pass that stage, they've got to book a call. And after they book a call, they get triaged by our
Setters.
setter on a 15-minute call. And then after that, only then do they actually speak to the closer.
So you know we actually have to sit with him just to optimize our funnel because that's what we're trying to do now.
Yeah.
Allah, man. So coming back to the point I was making.
Yes.
You guys have that level of qualification.
Yes.
And you 86% success rate. Check out the affiliate link below. Inshallah ta'ala. He will turn you into an Amazon machine. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
86% success rate.
you know, even me, like, the other, was it yesterday or the day before? A few days ago, I called you and I said to you, I said, you know what I realized? I said, wallahi, the key thing in business, I said to me, personally, I believe it's not even marketing, it's the fulfillment.
100% because if you fulfill, you get referrals.
Everyone
that's marketing.
can come and promise and say, I'm going to do X, I'm going to do Y, I'm going to do Z, and you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time. But that long term, that building that company, everyone that I know that's built a great company, even you've mentioned, like when you first got into real estate and you took their first money, and that first time, those people that trust you, usually people that know you to some level,
Yep.
and they're willing to invest in you, give you that money, or buy your product, or wherever else it might be, with zero reputation, right? How you interact with them and how you deliver for them will usually dictate the direction your business is going to go. If they're like, wow, you absolutely blow their socks off.
Yeah.
Whether it's you're selling a thobe, whether it's a pen, whether it's a real estate investment, and you deliver, you over deliver, you exceed their expectations.
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna, number one, come back to you. They become repeat customers. Number two, they'll then start referring. And there are people that I know that have built 6-7 figure businesses with zero marketing.
That's it.
Zero marketing. If you have all marketing and no fulfillment,
You as well?
Yeah.
That's what he's done.
Yes.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mahmoud's the same.
I
With
say
his-
he's only started marketing now, and
Now.
he's not even. It's not even like he's got an ad.
That's my point.
He just come to public now.
Right.
Right?
So I think what brother was mentioning, brother Jamal, it goes hand in hand. The scrappiness, the hustle, that is your reputation, right? For example, a story I always remember, man. I was renewing. The time came, like I had to renew the insurances for all my real estate buildings, right? Office buildings, personal investments, and whatnot. So I was shopping around. So there's this one gentleman. I called him. He gave good quotes and stuff like that. Then I was at the same time negotiating on another building that I needed an insurance quote for to see if the numbers make sense, right? He knows he was going to get at least $6 to $7 million policies from me, insurance, right? We're actively talking, and I'm almost going to make the decision to work with him. 5-star reviews, everything is there, right? And I'm negotiating on another deal, so I call him around 6:45. He doesn't pick up. I leave him a text message. I don't want to mention his name. Let's say Mr. John. Hey John, please call me back. Something urgent. Half an hour, no call back. Half an hour later, I call him again. I'm usually not that guy to just call you like that, right? But we're actively doing business. Half an hour later, I call him again. Voicemail. Another call. 10, 15 minutes later, and I leave him a long text message describing everything that I'm looking for. Hey, look, this is a building I'm negotiating. I literally just need a code just so I have an idea how much the offer to put in, and there was a deadline that night. He does not return my call. Next morning, he calls me back around 9:03, 9:04 a.m. He's like, hey, Mr. Amin, you called me yesterday. I see all these voicemails and messages. How can I help you, sir? I was like, yeah, I called you 3 times, left you voice note messages. What happened? I was like, oh, I don't work after 6 p.m. Spend time with family. Then I was like, okay, I don't work with people who don't work with me after 6 p.m., because that's your reputation, and I'm in the building phase of my businesses right now. I need answers. So his reputation in that sense was not scrappiness. So I think both goes hand in hand. This is how you create your reputation.
So he lost you as a...
Yeah, seriously, Sheikh, I can't work with you. I'm sending you 6, and again, I'm not being a difficult client here. I'm not sending you a $50,000 deal, insurance policy where you're gonna make, let's say, $60. I'm sending you $6 to $7 million policies where I'm almost gonna sign everything, and the future client funnels you're gonna get through me. And if in that position I cannot reach you after 6 p.m., I cannot do business with you.
Yeah, that's mad.
So your reputation does not fulfill what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Good for you if you're succeeding in your business. I'm not saying that's the only way to succeed, but not for me as a client. This is not what I'm
They
looking
want
for.
to know that if it gets cracking, you're going to be there.
Exactly.
At 9,
Battle
10.
tested. We always talk about it, Sheikh, right?
Do you know what I would say, bro?
Yeah.
Like, that client or that person that you were
Insurance
about to
person,
work with, he's going through a season in his life right now where he is prioritizing his family life,
Exactly.
his personal life, and that's not for you. You want someone that you wanted to work with, 24/7, right?
Right.
But and because I can kind of resonate with where he's at, because I went through a phase where I was on 24/7, bro, 24/7, and the missus said, "Hey, Jamal, we don't see you. You're here, but you're not here." And even when I was with them, mentally I was somewhere else.
I mean,
But you know what it is though?
I'm in that phase right now.
Number one step, but you know what it is though? You can do that, right? At the top of the food chain. But there's got to be, but let me ask a question. If one of your students reaches out after hours, is there someone to respond to?
Yeah.
You've got a system in
There's
place.
systems in place.
Now I do.
Right? But because before it was you. So
Before
I'm
it was all
saying
me.
this guy that he's talking about, he could have had a system in place.
He could have. Exactly.
So he lost
Because the
lead.
nature of the business is such.
Yeah.
It's not a 9-to-5 business. So
Like
it's
like
weird for you to come and tell me I don't pick up calls. It's sales.
So-
We're putting offers. We need you.
So we're going to quickly jump into the quick fire. The
Okay.
timer went out
Go on,
minutes
go on.
ago, so I don't want
Go
to delay
Oh,
anymore.
that was the alarm for it.
That's what the alarm was. So,
It's like, it's not Asr time, man. It's the alarm for it.
so I'll go to Jamal first. It has to be a quick answer. Yeah?
Sure.
If you could swap businesses with any of the other brothers from the Righteous Rides road trip, who would it be and why?
That's a great question. Oh.
For a day, right?
Was it for a day?
Yeah.
For a day,
Oh, for a day. So
You know,
it's just a quick fling.
the brother from Canada, Adam Al-Maghribi.
For the Umrah?
Wow.
Gift Umrah?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Why?
Because that is totally unrelated to what I'm doing. It's purely deen focused.
Wow.
And that's something that I feel like I'm lacking. I try to connect with my deen as much as possible, but to do something purely for the deen where there's no financial upside necessarily and my intentions are not clouded, I'd love that.
If anyone's interested, gift an Umrah. If you want Umrah to be done on behalf of a dead person, a family member who's passed away, Brother Adam from Canada, he arranges it with students of knowledge in Mecca and Medina that will do that. So we'll put the link below if anyone's interested, inshallah.
Sam,
MashaAllah, man.
what's the worst business advice you've ever received?
Worst business advice is don't work after 6 p.m. I'm kidding. But I think if you're starting out, guys, this is where the priorities and the expectations have to be set.
Yeah.
I've met so many young people that suffer in their relationship,
Yeah.
in their marriages, because the expectations are not set. You know, my first assistant, if I may quickly mention,
Yeah.
my first assistant, if he's listening, he'll know who I'm talking about, because he follows all the contents, mashallah. Great guy. At that point, he was like 19, 20 years old. Huge potential. I think the problem happened, he newly got married at that time, young, the path was right, but they were not aligned, man.
Him and his wife?
Him and his wife. His wife's expectation really was, when you're at the dinner table, you cannot literally look at the phone. And I told him, that's possible, bro. Go become a school teacher. Go become a nurse. If you are a sales guy, if you want to be an entrepreneur, there is no way. Till this day, boom, phone rings. At least I see who it is from. You know, then like you have Cobra team, I have my own Cobra team in my mind. If it's one of the Cobras, bro, I don't care who I'm having dinner with. I have to respond. Even if the response is, hey, I'm at a dinner, I have to get back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or if the response is, hey, next 3 days, I cannot respond to you. I don't have mental space. Yeah. Can I listen to your voice note 3 days later and respond to you? But the response must be given.
Yeah.
So the worst advice is, and people have given me, like, bro, you need to slow down. No, if your goal, and inshallah, my goal is to make $1 billion one day, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And we want to repeat that every year. If that's the goal, and there are other, I don't want to make this, like there are other purposes behind it, but if that's the goal, it won't happen by clocking out at 6 p.m.
Oof. Let me flip it to you actually. Same question, but on the flip side, what's the worst business advice you've ever given? Because you've given some questionable advice in the past, like telling sisters to put in their marriage contract that their husband can't get a second wife.
Yeah.
And you've done tawbah from that.
No, the worst
business advice you've given?
The worst business advice I received.
No, that you've given.
Or that I've given.
That you've given. Because like I said, you've given some, when it comes to the marriage thing,
on
you
the
have some
spot right
dodgy
there.
questions.
No, I'll give good business advice.
But what's one thing you know?
Okay, what's one thing that you've done in business that you think was a mistake in hindsight?
I've got hundreds of those.
Oh yeah, that's different.
I got hundreds of those. But let me think, what's a bad business advice I've ever given?
Or maybe not bad, but it evolved.
I'll tell you what.
Go on.
Maybe I can't pinpoint what it was, but I'll tell you a story. The brother Wasim, who's got a football academy, who was at the last
Yeah,
Righteous Rights.
I met him.
I told him right off 10 years ago. I said, don't do it. You're not going to make no money. You're going to flop.
Why?
He just reached his first 6-figure year this year, like 6 figures cash. Allah Barak, he took home.
MashaAllah.
And I remember when he told me, I was like, MashaAllah, you didn't listen to me.
Why did you scrap it?
I just didn't think it would work.
Based on what?
I don't
Just
know.
the fact that it was football.
That, and I think he was really struggling at the time. Like, but I feel like probably what I learned from that is not to count people out. And I don't usually do that. I'm pretty good at like, no, do your thing. But I don't know, when I looked at that and he was really struggling and he was working so hard, I was like, bro, do something else. Allah Barak, he didn't.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
What's the biggest misconception that people have in your industry
But this has got to be quick fire.
about your industry?
That you need a lot of money, and by a lot of money, I'm talking about 6 figures worth of money to start a business. That's not the case. You can start your own e-commerce brand with as little as $5,000 to $10,000.
Wow.
Cool.
Something I learned.
If you had 1 month off, an entire month, no work meetings, no work calls, no work messages, work is completely moved, how would you spend it?
Medina.
Allah Barak.
Just spend in Medina, man.
Allah Barak.
That's it.
MashaAllah. What about you? You
Yeah.
can't say the same answer.
Okay, but it would be in the haram with Sheikh Khalid.
No,
Just study.
can't be the haram. As in,
With Sheikh Khalid for a month.
okay.
Just studying.
MashaAllah.
But you know the quick fire, you got to be quick fire as well.
Yeah, I know.
Suddenly you've calmed
I'm
down.
reading them as well, innit?
You're asking like
What's a guilty pleasure purchase that you've built?
I'll answer this one. Wallahi.
What's that?
That's going to get bleeped out though.
Which one? Oh,
That's
my-
which one?
That's my guilty pleasure purchase, bro.
okay.
I wasn't expecting that. I bleeped that, yeah. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like I can bring you into that. Like I'm a connoisseur when it comes to that. Are you mad about, bro? Are you mad?
But then, like, I just find it uncomfortable going into
No.
the shop.
I have a very specific.
Routine. No, because I'm shocked. Not because
I have a specific.
you said
thing.
guilty pleasure. I'm like, but
Yes,
I get it now. I get it.
Oh, this guy's on another spectrum.
No, I'm saying what I meant was I've spent a considerable amount of money.
Which shop, bro? Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah, I can't lie. I
Say
can
that.
bring you. You know what is my things, bro? Don't ever leave. Nah, bruv. You have to up the level. Say this is what I want. Most of that's gonna get beeped out. People are not gonna know the context. Go on. What's your guilty pleasure, bro, that you spent money on?
A guilty pleasure. I guess watches.
Okay, I'm better. For a second, I was like, don't say cocaine.
No. I gave
This
you
podcast has gone left.
a very PG answer.
I told you he had 4 cookies before the podcast.
What's your favorite watch?
My favorite one is my AP.
Allah
With the Arabic dial.
How much was
Allah
that?
better.
Alhamdulillah, it was.
It was alhamdulillah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sam, how do you separate your personal finances from your business finances?
I have a set rules and people in place, so I don't touch any finances at all. Like I don't see anything at all.
Even for personal finances?
Even for personal finance, completely handled by wife.
Okay.
Business finance, I have business people handling it. So literally I have nothing to do with finance.
There's no chance of them mixing. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Out of curiosity, what's your guilty pleasure purchase?
Actually, that's where people find me robotic, man. None. Literally none. I don't eat cookies. I don't buy watches. Nothing, man. I don't spend on anything.
So like,
Why?
what's your escape? Like,
There's no escape.
what do you do to
Just
to have
one,
fun?
you could call it. It's not guilty. I don't feel guilty, but pleasure-wise is, spending. I spend a lot on my kids. Alhamdulillah. Like for example, we're talking about like business class flights, even if it's a short flight, long flight, everything. Whenever there's kids involved, I just want to, pamper because they're daughters. Inshallah, when it's going to be a son, it's going to be different.
He's sending him to coach.
Yeah,
Send him to economy. Sit in the back, bro.
Yes, Dagestan. We're sending him to Khabib's camp. That's the goal, man, with sons. But with daughters, I go all out. So
Dude, I can ask you because I did that last summer where we were flying back from London and then I booked them all in business just to give them the experience. But then even though alhamdulillah I could fly it in business, I don't want that because I only flew business for the first time in my early 30s after I worked my butt off, and to give them that continued exposure where they normalize.
You want your sons?
2 sons and a girl, yeah. So I gave them that taste, and now we flew from Cairo, and I could have done it, and they were asking. I said no, and subhanallah, we sat, in coach or economy, and it was alhamdulillah, it was uncomfortable because alhamdulillah, like whenever I travel, I always go business, but I don't want them to get used to that because they haven't worked hard for it, and they're getting that kind of dopamine fix without putting in the sheer effort and the,
So I get that for sons.
be sacrificed.
With the daughters.
I know, but still, like I don't, and I get it. For there's a distinction between the daughter and the son, of course, but still,
I actually do it a little bit reverse. Like whenever I fly myself, economy, bro, give me the worst seat.
Really.
Yeah, I just want to push it through.
You,
How life is.
we're going off on this, but one thing my dad did, he made me experience both.
Yeah.
And that kind of really benefited me from the angle of like business class, economy, luxury living in the hood, council estate.
Yeah.
Like being around drug dealers and thugs and politicians and journalists. And that gave me, it was one way it never got me used to any level of life, but it gave me insight to both. So when I sit with the business class guys, I can have a conversation with them.
Alhamdulillah.
When I
I
sit
think
with
that's the best way.
Yeah, so I kind of, I see the benefit in doing both. Wallah.
Yeah, but don't you feel like you deserve? I hate that word, but you deserve to fly in comfort.
Yes, but I think it slows me down, man. Anytime it's just me personally. Anytime I comfort myself too much, I feel like it slows me down.
What about like this is it's like a late night flight. You got a meeting in the morning. You just want to sleep
That's
on the
different.
plane.
That's different.
Like
If there's
business.
an actual purpose, I'll get the best flight.
Yeah.
But if I'm going for 3 weeks to America, let's say, and I don't have a meeting the same day, I will do economy. And if I'm going by myself, I'll do economy.
One last question before we end this segment is: what's one business decision that you regret saying yes to or no to, depending on which one you chose?
I think yes to would be the whole EXP situation. Remember, I was running so I did say yes to it in the beginning, and I think that was a major mistake. And
Did you lose out any money on it?
No, not lose out any money, but the whole reputation. People was like, man, he built it all by himself. Why is he signing up with another company? What is this? We liked Amin Realty being independent, taking over the world. Why do you need a corporate structure to come in? And hindsight, I think was a mistake agreeing to it.
Okay, very interesting. What is yourself, Jamal?
It was forming a partnership or a business with a good friend, because one thing I've learned is obviously there'll always be.
As in, that's something you missed out on?
No, something that I regret doing. In that I think friends should be formed from the business that you're in with a partner, not the other way around where you have a good friend, you guys get on, and then you think, hold on, it'd be a great idea if we formed a business together. Those usually don't turn out well, but if you have a business and then you bring a partner on board and then you become friends, that's great, I think.
As in, do partnerships based on merit and value, not based on friendships.
Exactly, because
100%.
a friendship will naturally,
blind you a little bit.
Sorry?
Blind you a little bit.
Yeah. It'll blind you, and just because they are a good friend doesn't make them a good partner. But when you're with a partner, like, think about all the partners in your business. You guys are probably really good friends, right?
We started off as friends.
Yeah.
We did.
But we're an
For like
exception.
a couple months.
I always tell people don't do. I agree with you.
No, I find that
Even on the Umrah setup, one of the first modules that we had was about partnerships.
Don't do it with your friends.
And there were guys on here that signed up with their friends. So we said, by the way,
Stop it.
I don't know how
I
you're
think
going
we
to
should
go
do a
forward
full
with this.
podcast on partnerships.
We should-
brothers.
yeah,
I think we should. I think it's very
100%.
essential.
That's a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
Like, because to be honest, even when me and him did
Yeah.
it was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, as in, I don't want to go off on a tangent. We'll discuss it in a different one. But I agree. I believe when we
Quick
partnered
thing I
up,
want to mention for you guys, I think, even if it did not happen intentionally,
Yeah.
what happened is clear roles.
that
clear
happened eventually.
strengths.
That happened eventually.
Yeah, but alhamdulillah, he has clear strengths that probably you don't have, Chef.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you have
100%.
because a lot of the times the problem is through friendships we become friends because we're so like each other most of the times.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing
And that's
when
the
you're
problem.
going into
That's
a
the problem,
partnership.
right? That's the problem.
Because his skills is raising capital, your skill is raising capital, his skill is casting a vision, your skill is casting a vision. So you guys are all doing the same thing. Who's taking care of the operations?
That was
Who's
the issue.
building the team? Who's doing the marketing?
That was the issue. That's the issue.
Yeah, so that's the problem I think with Brother Jamal. A lot of the
That,
times,
you know what? That could be the next episode.
yeah, seriously, we can go like hours on it. Man.
So now back to the original podcast.
Every podcast at 6 to 7 figures, bro. What's the
Oh, you didn't forget, subhanAllah.
what's the fundamental thing?
Huh?
What's the fundamental thing to go from 6 to 7?
I think 6 to 7
He
figures.
said diversifying your product suite.
Yes, so I agree with him. So I'll give you example from my line of work, right?
Okay.
So as a real estate salesperson, depending on the market, the territory you're in, there's a cap. There's a cap of how much money you can make.
Okay.
So for example, the top, without being a business owner, like Ryan Serhans and Josh Altmans, these are like celebrity realtors. So they're on the shows, like, selling Beverly Hills, selling New York, those kind of shows. And their sales commissions is $2 to $3 million a year. So you're going to be capped there. And even then, it sounds 7 figures. They have a lot of expenses with it, right? But you get capped. In order to actually go from 6 to 7 in any line, you have to do the ascension, the verticals. You have to actually become a business owner from a solopreneur. I have a pet peeve. A lot of the times people call themselves entrepreneur, but it's just them. Good, you're a solopreneur. You're not an entrepreneur yet. In order to become entrepreneur, you're running businesses, you have payrolls, you actually have a team. So I think in order to go from 6 to 7 figures, there has to be clear ascension, a vertical. So for example, for the brother, it's diversifying the products, right? E-commerce, launch multiple products.
Yeah.
In my field, it is when you become great as a realtor, you should then become a team leader, a brokerage, open up your own agency, recruit other realtors, train them, get a cut from their sales while you're doing your sales. That's the path I took. Then open up your property management company, your investment management, construction management. You have to keep climbing the verticals.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah,
Yep.
sorry, I know you've gone to 6 to 7, but I'll take it back to 0 to 6.
Yep.
It came to my mind. There's that show where the billionaires or millionaires, whatever they are, they get dropped off in a random location. They have zero access to any of their
Undercover billionaire.
asset. Yeah. What would you do?
Yeah.
You were put in a position where you're on zero.
Yeah.
No friends, no family, no connections, no business. What would you do to make your first 6 figures?
Yes, so I would, and I have, asked this question to me multiple times, and this is what exactly I have done actually, and just going back for people who don't know my story, there was now no friends and family investing with me. The first investors were not actually friends and family. If you have friends and family who can invest, it's the best way to start. But I started completely strangers. So literally in that case, I still stick by building your reputation. I would literally go to the corner intersection, the busiest intersection of the street, start cleaning windows. Don't even ask for nothing. And do the best job in cleaning windows. When all the cars stop at a traffic light, I'll start cleaning windows. Literally. And I know I can come home with $100 minimum. And I would do it until it's $100. And if I see I can get $100 in 3-4 hours, I would raise my target to 200. If I see I can do it in 4 or 5 hours, 200, I'll raise my target to 300. Do it with a nice smile, say hi, compliment the person that's there. Literally, guys, in America, by cutting grass, there are millionaires. Millionaires. I would actually scope out the neighborhood and see where old people live. Knock on their door, just cut it and leave a thank you note. So if they're paying $20 to some other guy, I'll do it for $10. and just keep doing it. I'll scoop up the whole neighborhood. And then there's calls coming, I want here, then I get my boy to do it. That's when you become an entrepreneur. You pay the guy 10, you charge 20.
Lead
You're
with
an
value.
entrepreneur. Yes, giving value.
Just give value.
Just give value. And actually people need, in countries like America, UK, Western countries, people need service, man.
You're right.
You know, like for example, we're talking about window cleaning. You're
Yeah.
like, well, man, there's like London. Window cleaning, we pay thousands of dollars every year, just window cleaning our offices. Deep cleaning, window cleaning. What does it take? What kind of capital do you need? Nothing. Just door knock, say, hey, let me give you a free sample, sir. Your windows are dirty. Let us do it for you. If you like it, call us. If you don't like it, no obligation, no hard feelings. You're crushing it, by the way. Good luck. Just giving a compliment to a business owner who does not know how to pay their next bill. If you give compliment, man, you're crushing it to a small business owner. You know how much it means to them? Like, yeah, that's my boy.
Big
I
time.
love it, mashallah.
Yeah, so this is what I would do.
What about you, Jamal?
Oh, if I had
Zero.
0 and
Zero.
I knew no one,
You knew no one, no connections, no nothing. You start from scratch. You have to make your first $100, then 1,000, then
yeah, but I'm still the same person I am today.
yeah.
Okay, then that's easy, because if you have a high value skill set, then you can make money easily.
So what would you do specifically?
So what would I do if I have? Because I was gonna say I'd start my own e-commerce brand, but obviously I don't have.
You don't have the-
I don't have any money. So I would find e-commerce brand owners, give them a complete and full audit of their business, their funnel, send them a detailed loom, very personalized, and say, hey, check it out. If you have, send them just a very detailed email where I overflow them with value and I ask for nothing back. And do this 10, 20 times a day. I guarantee you at least 5 to 10% will say, hey, hold on, that was actually really helpful. And they'll ask for a call or something of that nature. And then boom, just get on a call and using my sales skills, show them exactly where they are now and where they could be, and charge them for that service where I can bridge that gap. And I think that's something really powerful in sales where you future project and you say, hey, right, you're currently at say $50,000 a month. You could be making $150,000 a month just by doing this and this and this. And here's a blueprint where you give away all the secrets. I'm very, very big on giving away all the secrets, but you sell the execution. And boom, and for the brand owners who are making some kind of revenue, they do have the means and the ability to invest in people to bridge that gap for them and to execute, because most brand owners don't have their own team. They are solopreneurs.
Yeah.
And so instead of doing the thing themselves, they could pay someone like me to do the work for them.
Alhamdulillah.
Barakallah feek.
Barakallah feek.
Throw it back to the...
Okay.
do you want to answer?
No,
Go on. No.
Because you just looked at me off.
I'm waiting for you to crack on. I interrupted what you were saying.
No, barakallah feek. So you were saying, 6 to 7.
6 to 7 is ascension.
Okay.
Is ascension, guys, and that's where it's so important that the foundation has to be strong. Right? Foundation has to be strong. Whatever your core competency is, you have to be so strong in it. For example, in my case, the clients were coming and asking me, hey, Sam, we're investing in all these properties that you're buying for us. Why don't you manage these properties? Right? They were coming and asking because they loved what they got in the first phase of fulfillment. They were coming and asking for the vertical. So it's like, hey, let's do it. Then we scaled the company to 400 plus properties being managed. While we're doing that, they're saying, hey, Sam, you're outsourcing all the construction. Why don't you guys do your own construction management? Then we opened up our own construction team and we're still doing construction management. So there has to be this vertical. You cannot be a salesperson in any industry and get to a $1 billion dream. You have to become a business owner. The way you do that is your verticals, but it all starts with the fundamentals, fulfilling the promises.
Okay, so go on.
You see a lot of people that move across different verticals.
Yeah.
And number one, it's never with the same customers. And number two, that previous vertical is now completely zero and now they move to another vertical.
Bro,
and that's
so
the
powerful.
sign of
It's
like
so profound.
red flag.
So profound.
Like the fact that you like your customers were coming to you, asking you to go to the next vertical so that you could take them along with you.
Yeah.
Same customers, and you kept the initial vertical there that's running, and now you're adding this on.
Why did you say it's a red flag though? I'm just trying to understand.
other people just jump from one business to
Oh,
another
you
business.
mean
They've
the
got
guy who just
like they just
pumping
constantly changing. I guess you mean that's like a crypto term,
Yeah,
yeah.
pumping
But
up.
it's essentially it's just you just hype up this vertical,
Yeah.
sell. Okay, everyone's unhappy. You know what? Let me just rebrand. And
That happens
sell
in a lot of
something
MLM
else.
or pyramid scheme type of things.
Yeah,
Exactly.
If I may add here, Shah, this is beautiful, and from your guys' marketing language, your actually acquisition cost per lead increases when you do that. But when your customers become your salespersons or your ambassadors, a better term, man, unbelievable. And this is what I think every entrepreneur actually watching this. Like people ask me, how do you scale? Because while I'm scaling, I'm worried about my payrolls. And for me, scaling exponential growth is doubling.
Yeah.
If you're 100,000 in 2024, you got to be 200,000 in 2025. That means you're scaling, growing exponentially. 100 to 120, I'm not excited. If you're a $200,000 guy, you got to be $400,000 a year this year, inshallah, right? That's scaling. So while you're doing that, there's so many new challenges because every plateau, there's a new bear. Like you're climbing a mountain, every plateau, there's a new bear, and the bear is bigger and hungrier and wants to eat you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the chaos we talked about in the last podcast. So while you're scaling, how do you maintain, right? The way you maintain is your baseline customers, right? So for me, in my example, the customers became my biggest salesperson. And these customers were influencers themselves, meaning they were not buying one property, they were buying 5, 10, 15, 20. And at the same time, they were referring customers.
Okay.
So that became my 20, 30 grand a month that was coming consistently, bro. Even if I did not do any lead, new acquisition, nothing, 20 to 30 grand in commission every month just for my existing ambassadors.
It's that Alex Hormozzi said, right? He said one time his Facebook ad account got shut down. It was down for 2 weeks. And he didn't even realize because sales were still coming in. And they were like, wait, how are the sales coming in? Oh, it's all referrals.
Wow,
To the
powerful.
point where he didn't even realize that his ads were all off. Right? Because the referrals were still bringing it in.
SubhanAllah, that's so powerful.
So Sheikh, let me ask you a question now. What about 7 to 8? Because that's a world I'm not even exposed to right now.
Yeah, 7 to 8, man, is a very interesting world. And I'm looking forward to learning how to go from 8 to 9, but I think it's in the same ascension. 7 to 8 is one book that really, changed my life is an overestimate. I don't want to say that for any books, but really had a profound impact on me is The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump.
The Art of the Deal.
The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump.
You read it? I've not read it, but I know that that's one of his books. But
I'm baffed. I'm a book
It's
guy.
funny that
I didn't even know Donald Trump had a book.
No.
Oh, he had multiple books.
He's
He's
quite
got
a few.
hella books.
What?
Yeah.
I struck him as a joke, man, but okay. But he definitely knows what he's talking about.
Man's the president of the man.
Well,
from
it's
man's the
probably
only convicted, or he's gonna be
written by someone else
convicted.
anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the common objection people have. Hey, Donald Trump did not write his books. But you don't have to write your book.
Yeah.
Because his stories are his.
Yeah, the ideas are his.
Ideas are his.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have time to write a book. Have someone follow and write the book for you.
So what was it about the book? The Art of the Deal? What was it
Yeah,
about?
so the art of the deal is I think we're all in the essence deal makers, right? And for example, I was saying this to someone else I forgot recently. Everybody's in the business of raising capital. And
Okay.
once you understand that, like the whole dynamic changes. I'm talking about everybody as in 7-figure plus, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. The common trait or the common thing they're all doing is raising capital, bro. Let's throw some examples, okay? Steve Jobs needed to raise capital. Jeff Bezos needed to raise capital. He sold 20% of his share for $1 million for Amazon. That's worth like $250 billion right now. So he needed to learn how to raise capital. You could have a $1 trillion idea, literally $1 trillion idea, but if you don't know how to raise capital, it's not working. The presidents of like the free worlds are the biggest fundraisers, capital raisers. For example, Zelensky, people call him the biggest salesperson of our century. Every time he shows up to White House, bag of $100 million, $1 billion, the biggest salesperson. How's he doing that?
Likewise, the Israelis.
Huh?
Likewise with the Israelis.
Likewise with the
One
Israelis.
second. Art of the Deal, yeah.
The art of the deal, man. Even Trump, before he took the office, which is going to be January 19th or 20th, he already raised $100 billion from Japan. And people are saying he's in talks with other countries, in the region to raise capital, right? So everybody is in the business of raising capital. Like we were just talking offline, brother, like with the brand that you're launching. You need investors, right? The brand that you were talking, yeah. So we all are going to be in one way, shape, or form in the business of raising capital because any $1 trillion idea needs capital. So that skill I learned a lot from the book, The Art of the Deal, bringing it back to the book.
So what is the skill of doing deals then? Like what like, if you can
Understand-
explain the fundamental lesson you took away from that.
Yep.
What was it?
Literally understanding how to structure deals, and that's where you get paid the most. For example, in that book, one story was Manhattan, New York City was not allowing him, and I know we're gonna get a lot of hate comments because people hate Trump, but we're just trying to
Oh, yeah, I hate the guy too.
understand the lessons.
Yeah, but just understand the lessons.
Yeah, so basically the tower that he has in Manhattan, you were not allowed to go above certain height.
Okay.
New York City wouldn't allow that. But he found out, and I'm cutting a long story very short, he found out what every individual that was objecting to it needed.
Okay.
And he gave them that. He structured the deal in a way where everybody at least perceived that we got what we wanted. Let Trump build it.
So it's about negotiation.
It's about negotiation, structuring deals.
Okay, so you're saying that the fundamental skill that help you go from 7 to 8 are
Structuring
deals.
Literally structuring deals. It could be your own company, Sheikh. Like your marketing agency company. I want it to be a 10-figure, billion-dollar company. You know? But you will be at one point, you need to structure a deal with this guy, with this celebrity, with that celebrity.
With your, acquisitions, affiliates.
Exactly. What is
all of
Alex
this
Hormozi
stuff.
doing? You quoted him, Sheikh. What is he doing? Structuring deals.
Acquisition, isn't it?
Structuring deals. So every company he gets, he's structuring
So
right
you're
now,
right.
what-
You just
what
realized
you're gonna
that's
have with
exactly
him.
that's exactly what. Okay, so like for example, one of the things that we realized we kind of bottlenecked at is that we're getting so many leads. You know this righteous rights,
Yeah.
bro, brings in so many leads. It's ridiculous. There's nothing that we've put out that brings as many leads as this. But as you can imagine, the overwhelming majority are
Yeah.
unqualified. Right? Because everyone want to be in something like that. So this brings in the qualified leads, but also brings in like a bag of unqualified leads.
Yeah.
What do we do with them? So that's what I've been doing. I've just been trying to structure deals with different, like some people are coming in, they've got money. They're trying to invest. They're not business owners, right? They've got money. They're not trying to show up. They just want to put their money somewhere, right? So what do? We're in talks with Sam, right? There's some guys that are B2C. What do we do? In talks with you, other people. So is that what this is? Are you saying that that's what it is?
Yes,
Or a part of it?
This is what it is. Sheikh.
Because if this goes right, this could potentially help us 4x, 5x what we're already doing.
Yeah.
Just by taking all those leads and sending them
With zero
off into
extra
different
fulfillment.
directions.
Exactly.
With zero fulfillment.
And
yeah.
like Alex says, like what his ICPs for the acquisition.com, 3 million plus, right?
Yeah.
Because this is when you can structure deals.
Yeah.
You need to be playing in the 7 figures to be able to structure deals where it makes sense for everyone.
Yeah,
Because sometimes I saw, because the reason I'm following and I know this information, because we're in talks with two companies actually to sell some equities in one of our companies. I don't want to mention which company, but they valued us at 4.8 million. I was expecting it to be like 10 million plus, right? 8-figure plus. And then he actually referred me to acquisition.com, and he has no idea who Alex is. Literally, he does not follow any marketing, YouTube, nothing, talking about segmentation. The guy is like just a nerd in the industry. He's like, there's this company, acquisition.com, maybe they'll value you higher. It's like, acquisition.com. I'm like, is this company? He's like, yeah. And he has no idea who, like literally no idea of Alex's personal branding. Yeah. Then I was like, why would they pay me more? He's like, they are in the aggressive phase of just acquiring businesses just like yours, where there's a driver behind the company. Where it's like, talk to them. He was referring me, and you could get a higher valuation. But for our company, this is where we're at. We're comfortable. So this is when structuring deals. Wow. Literally, how does your company's worth? These are all papers. These are all numbers. Go from literally one guy is willing to pay me 4.8. Maybe another company is going to be willing to pay me 8.4. You see, you're increasing your net worth by just knowing how to structure deals.
Sheikh Barakallah, because you don't have much time, I really want to ask you this other question. I'm really interested. What are you doing now to get to 9?
Yes, so I think now you need to structure deals on larger deals, right? This is where, remember, we're alluding to, Sheikh. Now, moving from developing, let's say, a G+6 7-story building, you're going to develop a whole area where there will be malls, where there will be mosques.
Allah give you success.
Yes, I mean, so the larger the deal size is, the more margin, the more juice, the more room you have for everyone. Everybody makes money.
What about you, Ak? What's your journey to 9?
Well, I'm not sure I want to get to 9. I think because obviously I went on the last Righteous Rise, and you were talking about thinking big, and having these super grand goals that's not only serve you and the community but the larger ummah. And I thought really hard about that. I'm like, that's not something necessarily that I want to journey towards, because the journey to 9 figures will come at great personal cost to my to my family life, and it's something that I'm constantly wrestling with, because I've got 3 little kids. Alhamdulillah, the youngest is 6, the eldest is 11. I know that I could work 5 times harder than I am now, and I could earn an extra 0 or 2 after maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But at what cost? What's the opportunity cost to my family life? And to me, the numbers don't make sense. I think after a while, like I started as, just a school teacher, and when I started my business, I had 0 savings, literally 0 savings. I was paying off debt. I had nothing to my name. So to start my own e-commerce brand, I borrowed £7,000 from my mum. May Allah bless her. And then when I made my first $10,000 a month, that to me was life changing. And then 20 and 30. After a while, you can't continue to keep on improving your lifestyle, or there comes a point where you're working, but there's no tangible upside. It's just a number.
What about placing yourself in more leverage opportunities where you do less, but the upside is more?
I think that's a skill set I'm probably lacking, where I am forging partnerships, because right now, only in the last maybe 18, 24 months have I put myself out there with content and meeting new people and networking in masterminds. For the first 4 to 6 years of my business journey, I was in my cave. No one knew who I was. I made my business like the core part of my life, and it's all I worked on, and I didn't have to go out. I could stay in my room and just work and work and work, and that's where I gained a great amount of joy and satisfaction, alhamdulillah. And after a while, I had the results to show for it. But then I think right now I'm in the season of my life where the next level up, I do have to kind of do stuff like this and meet new people. And so I think that's something I might be working towards. But do I even want that? Honestly, bro, I have no idea. I'm literally going through the journey as we speak right now.
I like that. Last question. I'm gonna just quickly. I want to answer quickly from both of you. Yeah. What's the one thing you're doing terribly wrong right now in your business? That's maybe even borderline embarrassing.
I think in constant pursuit of being a better leader. If I just look at just 3 months ago, recently, I'm like, man, this guy's a horrible leader. And of course, if you go back months
about yourself,
about myself. So I think this constant journey is we have to evolve as leaders, because A's will hire B's, B's will hire C's, and C's should get the hell out of doing business, right? So I can only hire 10s if I'm a 10 myself. So I think the constant work is on improving myself as a leader.
Okay, not better yourself.
What
totally, utterly embarrassing thing was that?
Embarrassing.
Why? Someone wants to look at you and think, how is this guy making money?
I need to sleep more, I think. Yeah, I think I struggle with sleep. Like I get 4 or 5 hours if I'm lucky. I think in terms of my health, that's something I'm trying to prioritize right now. Why are you laughing?
Because if you used to flip the question on me, bro, it's a joke right now. You guys are talking about some bougie problems.
No, because
Let me see what mine is, yeah?
No, but hold on.
Not able
Before you answer yours, if you were to have asked me this question about maybe 12 months ago, I was doing some really stupid stuff. I was doing all the work. I was building the program. I was doing the coaching. I was taking the sales calls. My entire day was basically one thing after the other, and that lasted for about 9 months. And I was completely burnt out, and I could have done it in a much better way. So I think that was a really, really, well, in fact, you could say it was embarrassing at the time, but in hindsight, it might have been necessary for me to, to really have done it all myself before I brought on team members.
Got to wrap up, yeah. Got
Okay.
Arabic class.
Okay. Well, Alhamdulillah, saved by the end
No,
of the
go
show.
on, answer quickly.
Bro, me, I'm completely financially illiterate, bro. That's my issue. I have massive financial illiteracy. What I mean by that is, bro, just I completely have botched up the finances of my company, and I always have. It's a complete L. I'm in a constant state of, but that's what this year is about. This year is all about just,
As in you're misspending or?
yeah, everything.
Okay.
Like as in, bro, we went from like a 5-man team to a 20-man team.
Okay.
And then I realized, snap, I didn't need to hire all those people. And then I didn't know how to manage all those people.
Got payroll.
Oh, it was long. Then we had to scale down. Now we're lean. We're 5-6 man again. And it's moving super, the penny dropped when, Idris, right? He's one of the executives that we've hired on our team, alhamdulillah. Our first official corporate hire. We looked at our P&L the other day, and he was just in shock. Like he was in a state of complete horror, and he was like, because we never forecasted, and he was like, what are you guys talking about? How come you don't have a business forecast? And me and him were laughing. Anyway, then he said something at the end. He was like, bro, this is the most important document in your entire business. And then the penny dropped. I was like, bro, there months go by, I don't look at this. I'm just building SOPs on Notion and this, that. I'm giving so much time to these other documents, but when it comes to the P&L, the profit and loss. But this year, this is every year I master a new skill. Inshallah, this is that year.
Let's go.
To get the finances on track.
Inshallah.
No more hires, right, Abu Bakr?
No more hires.
No more hires.
Sometimes, bro, I find out about people being hired after they've already been hired.
SubhanAllah.
I've said that to him so many times, and I'm going to hire someone. Anyway, my bad. Inshallah.
Heartbreak.
Yeah. Whew. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. السلام عليكم.
Alex,